welcome to a brand new episode of the Woolly Thistle Shopcast. I'm your host Corinne. This is my co-host Maggie.
Hello.
And we are here to talk about all things woolly wool and knitting and yarn and adventures in knitting and yarn and all those good things. I believe this is episode number 248, which is wild. And
that is wild.
It's when this goes live, it will be actually February 28th, the
yeah.
last day of February. And so, wow, this year is going by fast.
It is.
It is. So this is a very full episode. And what do we have going on in this episode? Do you have any?
Yeah, we have a number of segments today.
Right.
We have a segment from Emma, who is sharing her Colorwork KAL progress.
Yes.
Beautiful.
She has a beautiful, yes, yes.
We have a segment from Kelsey, who's talking about garment knitting and the time we spend knitting.
And that is very interesting.
We also have an interview with Mary Jean Packer of Bat and Kill Fibers.
Yes, we have a short segment with Mary Jean, who I invited on the show to talk about her next trip that she will be hosting in Barcelona in Spain. Yes.
Very nice. And we have Kim with us for a yoga flow.
Lots of breath work in that one. So
Nice.
yeah, another very full episode. So, you know, hope you're comfortable and knitting and doing okay out there. So let's see. We are no longer running ads on any of our videos. As far as I know, none of our videos should have ads on them because we prefer to ask you directly to help support the channel by telling your friends about the Woolly Thistle and coming to the shop and having a look at what we have and hopefully shopping with us.
Yeah, there was a couple of weeks ago a little snafu with one of the videos
And
where
you let us
YouTube
know.
let us. Yeah, they put the ads on it even though we'd said not to. So thank you for letting us know.
Yeah.
I think we've got that fixed, so you shouldn't see ads again.
Our intention is no ads. So yes, if you come across ads, let us know.
Yeah.
Also, our PIPS program is really growing and doing quite well. That's where you earn PIPS, which are points in progress, kind of a play on whips. And you earn PIPS for every time you shop with us, and then you're able to spend them on future purchases. So it's a little bit of money off, which is nice. Send in your videos for a spot on the show. We always enjoy hearing from viewers and fellow knitters, especially when they want to show off their knits that they've made using yarn from the Woolly Thistle. So if that's you, get in touch. There's a form on the website. If you go to the Connect menu item, you'll see the form there to submit. And as always, free shipping on orders over $99 inside the United States and only $4.95 if under $99. So a good deal on shipping. We're holding on to that as much as we can. It's tough, but we're happy to do that for you as long as we can. And check the show notes down below for anything we talk about and links to go find out more about them. And Maggie, you've also already shared what is on the Shopcast today.
Yeah.
I think, how about we announce the winner? We always announce two winners. We can announce one now, and then we can talk about what we're wearing.
Great.
And all that kind of stuff.
So our first winner today of a $25 gift card to the Woolly Thistle is at Jamie Schlenk 8151, and Jamie says, "I always look forward to the Shopcasts, which are entertaining and informative. I always learn something new, and as always, I love seeing how Rachel is getting along with her sheep."
Oh, yes.
Rachel's amazing.
Yes.
Jamie, if you can email us at info@thewoollythistle.com, we will put prize winner in all caps in the subject line, and we will get you your $25 gift card.
Very happily we will do that. And yeah, if you would like to be in the running yourself for a gift card to the Woolly Thistle, all you need to do is leave us a comment down below, give us a thumbs up, and subscribe to our channel, and then you too will be in the running to win a $25 gift card next time, which is not bad.
No, it's not
All
bad at
right,
all.
so let's talk about what you're wearing.
I am wearing a shop sample, actually. This is the Love Note. It is knit with our Rambler yarn and Biches mohair.
Oh, it's so
And
buttery.
It's really nice. You can see that stitch. It's so soft.
I warned
with
you
the
that I was
mohair.
going to pet you.
Yeah, I know. You can see the lace really opens
Yes.
up and quite warm.
Oh, yes, you've been saying that you're quite warm.
Which is really nice as somebody who's always cold.
Well, and it's a lightweight sweater too.
It's lightweight. I have it on over a button-down shirt.
It's so pretty.
And
it
feels really nice.
We had the sample knitted in the natural colorway because we love the natural
Yeah.
colorway, but also I think it represents a nice sort of blank slate for you to superimpose your own colors.
We do have kits for the Love Note that uses Rambler and Biches. If you're unfamiliar with our Rambler, it comes in a wide array of colors. This is the natural in the skein.
Yes.
Really, really beautiful.
And we have a matching Biches Bush mohair that goes well with that to provide this finished look.
If you're new here, Rambler is our house yarn. It's our first house yarn. And it was made as a sock yarn, but it can be used for a multitude of things. Yeah. It is a 3-ply yarn that uses 80% Dorset, 10% Grey Romney, and 10% Corriedale.
And it's lovely. And we really just got restocked with more of the natural because we were running low. Yeah. But we have good quantities otherwise, I believe, of most colors. Yeah. This here is Golden Fern. And we do have a set in this, I believe, with a matching Biches Bush mohair silk.
And we do have a set with the Trillium, which is that red.
Gorgeous. I knit a whole shawl in that with it really took 3 skeins, and it's lovely. This is Pine. And you know, the story behind us calling it Rambler is that you have ramblers in the UK who ramble all over the countryside walking and hoofing around through fields of sheep and whatnot. So this inspired the name of our Rambler.
I believe there's also a kit in the cinnamon fern, which is really, really
love that
lovely
color.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Lichen, lovely green.
Wild clover. I love this rosy pink.
Me too. And Merry Bells, which is a lovely yellow, golden yellow.
Aster, which is a really light purple.
Just gonna hold these together because I love doing that. One of my favorites, Winter Sky, this light blue.
Darker purple is the lupine. Is it lupin or lupine?
Lupin, I think, but lupine is fun.
Okay.
And this is Lake, which is a gorgeous darker blue. Yeah. So yeah, lots of colors, and several of these are made into kits, along with the Biches Bush mohair. Yeah. To make this specific sweater, which is just lovely. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and if you don't see a kit in a color that you'd like, you can always email us at info@thewoollythistle, and we can help you pick just the right mohair
for sure
for the color that you want to
Happy
match.
to do that. So yeah, this is keeping you nice and warm. It looks fantastic.
It's very cozy. It's
very
really
fast
soft.
knit. Renee knit this for us as a sample for the store, and she's a fast knitter anyway.
She's a fast knitter anyway. It is knit. I've knit 2 love notes, and it is knit at a looser gauge, so it just flies off the needle. I'm not very fast with sweaters, but my love notes went pretty quickly.
Yeah. So we're very happy to have this in the store. It's fantastic if Maggie doesn't take it home with her.
So if you're local to us or in the area, feel free to stop by, and you'll be able to visit this.
Give it a little pat
on one of our mannequins.
Yeah.
I will give it back for now.
If you have to.
Yeah.
So,
what are you wearing?
Thank you. I thought you'd never ask.
It took me a minute.
So I am wearing the Flowers of Fortrose Vest, which is a design that I'm working on. The pattern's not going to be ready for a little while, but my hope is that it will be ready soon. And this is a vest all over Colorwork, knitted in Jamieson and Smith. 2-ply, sorry Maggie.
Oh, that's okay.
It's hard to get everything in.
I know.
So yes, so this is steeked, and actually I cut this even more. Okay. To shape the what do you call them here, the shoulders. So yeah, this one is a little bit Frankensteined, and that's the hold up. So I'm going to be working on making this very much more straightforward, and where you don't have to go too crazy with the scissors like I did.
I know we have had some comments of people when you've worn this before asking like, where's the pattern?
It's coming. Yeah. It's coming. We're
I think too, like
it.
Sometimes design is a slow process.
It really, for me it is.
And that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. You know, it'll be ready when it's ready. We want to do things properly. I don't want to rush and then send out something that is, difficult. So let me get it right, and then you'll know. And we'll do a test knit as well.
Yeah, we do appreciate the enthusiasm.
For sure.
It is really beautiful.
Thank you.
So
we appreciate you and your excitement for it. It's coming. It will come. And I find this to be quite a quick knit. I've knitted 2 of these now. The first one I knit is really tiny, would fit you or my daughter. And it's in that lovely purple and sort of peachy pinks. Yeah. Oh, I love that. But I really like this original colorway too. This sort of mirrors the Flowers of Fortrose hat and mittens design. So it's a riff on that.
Yeah. So if you're interested, there is a Flowers of Fortrose hat and mitten set that is already available now. It does come in this colorway.
Yeah, and you can start knitting on that. See if you like the gauge that you're getting and things. You can sort of use it to get familiar with the pattern. What I like about this pattern is there's no catching of floats needed. It's just very potato chippy and it flies by.
We do have a course that features the Flowers of Fortrose. Emma, who you will see shortly, Emma did that course for us.
Yeah, wonderful.
And it is an intro to colorwork. The Flowers of Fortrose is great. If you're new to colorwork, you've not knit colorwork before, this is great because, as Corinne said, small repeats. You're not having to worry about catching of floats, and it's pretty repetitive.
Yeah,
so you're not having to like watch every line on the chart.
Right.
You get a good sense for, so you can just work on your knitting.
Yeah, so it's a great beginner colorwork project in the hat, in the round. And you get through the rows of colors pretty quickly, and before you know it, you're done. You've got a hat. So if you're new to colorwork and would like a holding of the hands, we both would recommend the course with Emma. You can find that at the Woolly Thistle under courses.
Yeah.
All right. So that's what I'm wearing. That's what you're wearing. What are you knitting on?
I'm knitting on everything. I have. So our Colorwork KAL is underway.
Yes, we're about halfway through it. There's still loads of time though for you to join in if you haven't already and you decide you want to. All you need to do is sign up and get knitting. It's an accessory Colorwork KAL. So you can knit a hat. The hat we were just talking about, we could knit that. Whatever you want to knit. It's an accessory and it's Colorwork. Join us. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm making slow progress on mine because I've been obsessed with a different project. But I am making slow progress. I am knitting pretty much this scarf from the Doodle Knit Directory, but I'm choosing my own colors. And I'm using J&S. So I'm making progress.
Oh, it looks good.
I was working on it last night. I really like that.
Oh, yes.
So you can see I'm starting now. The section has leaves on it, and you can see the leaf is almost
beautiful.
I had to switch up my color, so I like the Morit. I'm using J&S Supreme.
Okay.
In the Morit color as the background.
Yeah.
I like the way it came here. I thought I was going to use this light purple, which, as you can see, you can barely see.
Yes.
When you hold the two balls next to each other, they were great. I didn't feel compelled to rip it back. You can still see it a little bit, and it's just not going to bother me, so I was fine.
Yeah.
But I decided to switch up the order of my colors, and I really like how this lighter peachy pink is coming out.
It's popping. Fantastic.
So yeah, I'm just having fun. It'll be a scarf, so it'll be quite long.
Yeah. So it'll be a scarf, not a cowl?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and the scarf has you on both ends. You start and end with like a space of just solid, and then I'm assuming that I'll sew it together.
Okay.
Otherwise it'll roll, so I will sew it together.
Yeah, and close that.
I just haven't read that far in the pattern.
Yeah.
I just got to the charts. So there's
very enjoyable.
Yeah, there's like 6 or 8 chart patterns, and you just knit till, I'm just gonna knit till it's the length that I want.
Absolutely.
So I'm working on this.
Gorgeous.
I'm making slow progress.
Yeah.
And then the thing I've really been working on.
Oh my gosh. Gorgeous.
I don't even think I've showed this yet. I think I talked about it the last Shopcast. I talked about wanting to knit. Sorry, I keep leaning over. I talked about wanting to knit a cabled sweater from this book.
Yeah.
And after we finished recording, I just couldn't stop thinking about it. And then I thought, I've been saying this for a while. This is a sweater.
Isn't that lovely?
This is book 425, and that's pattern 4253.
There's quite a lot of patterns in this book that are very knittable, and people are jumping all over, which is great.
Yes. I know at the time of recording this is out of stock. You can sign up for the back in stock notice. We have a whole bunch on order, and they should be coming very soon. So if they're not already here, sign up for the back in stock. Yeah. But you can find the link in the show notes. So I got started. Hopefully you can see this okay, because I'm knitting it in a dark navy color. But I've made lots of progress.
It's looking so good. Hold it up close.
Oh, yeah, so you can really see.
Oh, look at the squishiness. It is so good feeling.
Yeah, I love that you can see that. So I really love this yarn. It's knit with Rama Fibble, which is their worsted weight. It is a 2-ply worsted weight, but those cables are popping.
And it's very beautiful.
It's so
it just
squishy.
Yeah, very squishy, and they are popping. That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
incredible.
really, really happy.
It looks like
with
it's going to be a super comfortable wear as well.
I'm in love.
Yeah, you agonized a little bit.
I did. I agonized a bit about the color because I wasn't sure you'd see it the way that. But you can. I was nervous about like whether or not you'd be able to see the texture in there, but you totally do.
You totally do.
So
really nice.
It's really, really nice.
And your sister's knitting this too.
She is.
How's hers going? Hi, Marie.
Hi. You can see she's putting progress in the Facebook group.
Okay.
I can see if I can get her photo from her.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
She's knitting it in the light lavender color, which is really fun. She tends to knit beige. So she's excited to be knitting with a color.
Hooray!
So, I'm really excited. I've been absolutely loving this.
So gorgeous. So lovely. Aw.
And so far, I've only made 1 or 2 mistakes, and I managed to drop down and fix it pretty quickly, and then off I go.
Yeah,
so,
lovely. And right now, there's no shaping. There's no waist shaping or anything.
No, it's just straight. So, as you can see, I have many a stitch marker.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of keeping me on track.
Stitch markers are your friends.
Yeah, I could probably take them out. When I first started, I had just grabbed whatever stitch marker was there, and it looked like an insane person was knitting on this. So I find it was bothering me, and I'm like, maybe I'm maturing. So I went with all the same color.
Yeah.
And that made me feel better.
But
yeah,
there's a lot going on though. Look at all the stitch markers, but it's easier than you think. Usually,
it really is. I thought it would be overwhelming, but now I'm just in a rhythm, and I kind of know what's happening in that section, and it's fine.
And I don't know about that particular pattern, but usually you have a chart for this set of cables, and a chart for that, and a chart for that, and you just kind of move across the charts.
Yeah. I mean, I think I can show you quickly.
I love this on the back.
Yeah, so there are a number of charts. I have my transparent tape that I keeps track of where I am, and
do as you're told per the chart, and you're good.
Yeah, and really, it's knit straight for quite a while. Although I'm probably getting close to. I need to measure and see how many more centimeters needs to happen. I'm pretty sure it'll go on waist yarn too, and then I'm gonna have to start some sleeves.
So are you gonna knit the front and back top back and forth, because right now you're in the round, or do you steek the sleeve holes, or do you not know?
I think it's a raglan. No, it's not a raglan. So I think you'll probably have to switch to back and forth.
Yeah, which with cables is actually not a big deal, because you're doing so much purling anyway, no matter which side you're on.
I'll admit I haven't really read ahead. I'm just kind of doing what it says.
Love it. Love it. It's fantastic.
I'm just following the instructions.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
I'm really, really happy with it.
Yeah. Is this what you're obsessing on then? You're knitting this a lot.
I am knitting this a lot.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Even in a dark color.
Even in a dark color.
Do you have your light?
I do. I have a neck light at home, and I'm definitely using that. Last night I switched to the Colorwork when the battery died in the neck light. I was like, all right, we're done here.
Get battery stuck.
Like, I have a lamp that I'm next to, but I was in the sofa seat that didn't give me the best light, and I was nice and didn't move my daughter. So I'm working on that.
Good. Anything else?
I do. I have my sock that I'm still making slow progress on. And it's actually, I thought it would be good to show these. It's in my Harris Tweed project bag.
Yes.
You can see my needles poking out.
We're getting these in soon. Maybe by the time you're watching this, but probably the week after. They're finishing up making them, and they'll be in transit to us very soon. Yeah. And
we do have some coming in new patterns.
Yes.
So that'll be very
We'll
exciting.
show you them when they come.
So I'm almost done turning the heel on my Estel sock.
In Rambler.
Gorgeous. I'm using the Aster and the natural colorway.
Lovely.
Just really, really pretty.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. I love this design. And this also has little cables on it.
Oh, you're just cabling it out.
I know.
Cables
it's
and
just
Colorwork.
really fun.
I think that's the title. Cables and Colorwork.
Cables and Colorwork, yeah.
Yeah.
Just really great.
Fantastic.
So this was great because it scratched both of the current itches. I never really thought I'd be somebody who, like, I've resisted cables. I don't know why. I've absolutely resisted cables.
It's okay.
I think, I had a mental block about it, but I'm kind of over that now.
Yeah. Well, cables are fun. I will show you what I've finished.
Yeah.
Because I have a couple of FOs too. This is the Estel hat, or tam. which I knit very quickly because it was so potato chippy. I knit on this a lot, and I love it.
We should mention the designer of the both Estel patterns.
Yes, is Virginia Sattler-Reimer. And yeah, I'm going to enjoy wearing this. I think it's super cute.
Yeah.
I knit it in the yarn it calls for in the pattern, which is Jamieson Spindrift. We have kits in this green and natural color.
Yeah.
Which I don't remember what they're called right now. But yeah, very happy with this. And now I need another hat to knit for the second half of the Cal, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, I do love a tam. I tend to knit tams more than anything when I'm knitting hats. And then, just like you, Maggie, wait, let me put this back. I decided to pick up a cable project. And I looked far and wide. We'll put a picture here. I wanted a raglan cardigan, and I found Sari Norland's Billy cardigan, which is a very lovely design.
Yes.
And I cast on this. So I'm knitting it back and forth. And I'm knitting it in Brusca by Retrosaria, which is a woolen spun worsted weight. And I'm going to block this tonight. I just want to wash it and see what happens.
Yeah.
It's really enjoyable. Cables just take a different part of your brain, which feels nice to scratch that itch.
Right.
And also, Maggie, you're just so inspirational.
I'm really surprised at how intuitive it is.
Well, you do. You start to see where the next row of what you should be doing.
Right. Like I have a similar section here with that same cable
and you just
on mine,
know.
And I'm like, oh, I know what happens here.
Yeah. But yeah, exactly. So I'm working really, really hard to keep my this is a raglan, so I'm trying to keep my raglan spines nice and neat and tidy. It's very easy to go off piste. Don't know if you can see, but I've got a little bit wonky there. There's a hole. Can't see it. I'm pointing out the minutia.
Such a knitter thing to do.
I know.
Look at the one hole.
It's bothering me. So I have ripped back on this quite a few times because I'm like, no, that's not how I want it.
Yeah.
But I'm just enjoying knitting it. I do find cables actually quite satisfying to knit.
Yeah.
So
I'm finding it to be surprisingly potato chippy.
It is. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask a question.
Yeah.
Is that your gauge swatch?
It might be. So we can talk about our first ever knit night. Yeah. We had our first ever knit night here in the store, and thank you so much if you were local and came out. We loved having it.
Yes.
And being with you, and we're going to do it every other Thursday, I think, going forward. And this is not what I cast on that night. The pattern is the same, but I had a different yarn. And once I got going with it, I felt like it wasn't popping the way I wanted the cables to. So I switched it up and did this over the weekend. But that was a really fun time. I thought I was casting on down the bottom to knit this bottom up, probably because I'd seen yours.
Yeah.
And I was completely confused because there was no ribbing. And I just didn't understand.
Yeah.
And then it became apparent that, no, this is top down and you're starting at the top. I'm like, oh, God. Just not thought about this very much.
It's always interesting, though, because I think there are a couple of things that I feel like are a little, not divisive, but knitters definitely have their favorites. Bottom up or top down.
Yes.
Whether you're talking about sweaters or socks.
Yes.
People are very...
Yes. It's a point of...
one or the other.
Yes.
I find with sweaters, I don't mind bottom up.
Yeah. I like bottom... Most of the sweater knitting I've done started with bottom up, so I'm very comfortable with that. I don't understand the thinking that, well, you can't try it on. I'm like, yes, you can, but actually I think the top down folks do have a point that you're trying on the most complicated area first,
right?
So that if you need to make corrections to this area, you can before you've knit the whole thing.
Right.
Although I have been known to Frankenstein my sweater in half and make the bottom fit the proper top and all of this with a Kitchener. So there's ways around everything, but I agree. I'm very much a top down on socks. Yeah. Don't like toe up. Can't be bothered with all that toe business.
I find that I don't mind the toe business. What I like is actually the heel construction. I prefer many of the especially since I like a gusseted
heel
flap and gusset.
Yeah. Me too.
The other thing though that I think is pretty divisive or where people have strong opinions is swatching. Some people like we talked about swatching very briefly at knit night, and there were a couple people who were like, I never swatched, can't be bothered. But I do want to wash this. So yes, it will become my swatch. I will measure it. Which I think is okay, especially with the top down. You'll see quite quickly.
Yeah. I have ripped back on this a lot because I am being particular about those those spines, and I'm not knitting it as well as I want to. And
Yeah.
so, but all knitting is good knitting. And I
Yeah.
actually think Emma, who we should go to soon,
Yeah.
says that as well. And it's true. I don't care. Just so long as I'm knitting and making my knitting as good as I want it to be. It doesn't have to be good and perfect every time, but sometimes, yes, it does. And that's what I'm going for with that. So yeah, this will be my swatch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is good. Which is good. That's okay.
Yeah.
And I think there's nothing wrong with that. You've done that a number of times and it really works for you.
Yeah.
Where you get going on the knitting. It is basically a very large swatch.
It is.
You'll wash it.
But that's better actually in a lot of ways. You know, I'll wash it hopefully. And if it's somehow wrong gauge and it's going to come out smaller or larger than intended, then I can change my needles up and I can keep knitting and then swatch again. I have no problem doing that. Or I could just cut it off and start over. That because I've gotten much better at these spines now that would take as long if I were to reknit it. And it's just worth it. It is worth it.
Yeah, there's still lots of
mind.
value in that.
Yeah.
I think actually just treating it like your swatch, like you said, you're now really familiar with the pattern.
Yeah. With some sweater designs, you can start by knitting a sleeve, and I will often start the sleeve, and that is my swatch. It's knit in the round, and it's a lot of good knitting.
Right.
And yes, I can manage the gauge from there.
I think where just jumping in is more risky is if you're somebody who hates to rip back.
Oh, yes.
Because then if you're not willing to go, oh, this is all the wrong sizes. Especially like I often do not get gauge with the same needle size as the designer.
Yeah.
There are a couple of designers where, like, I love Kate Davies patterns. I am wildly different needle sizes than her.
Yeah.
I just can't quite figure out how she gets. And I think it's okay. Like, I'm aiming for the same gauge.
However you get there.
Right.
Yes.
So if I need a different needle, that's fine as long as the number of stitches I get is the same.
Your point, though, about whether you're okay ripping back or not is such an interesting psychological study of people, because I have absolutely no problem ripping back. I will rip back till the cows come home to knit it the way I want it. That all knitting is good knitting. It's not just a thing I say. I really mean that. Like, so long as I'm knitting, I'm okay.
You don't care if you're starting over for the third time.
No,
you're really happy.
I mean, and I am knitting this for the finished object. I can imagine this being finished. I want it. I will wear it, but only if I'm happy with it.
Right. And so if it takes you multiple starts to get there, you're perfectly fine with that.
Yes.
But I know some people have a hard time. They don't want to rip it back at all.
They don't. They want to keep going. But those people, I wonder if those people also swatch or not. Because if they don't knit their swatch, they won't know that. But also maybe they don't want to stop to swatch in the first place. And, you know, that's each to their own.
I think that the important thing you're also doing is not just the knitting, but you're pausing to wash it.
Yeah.
Some yarns, especially non-superwash yarns, will dramatically change in the bath.
That is the real reason I want to do this. I want to see what happens to this woolen spun, very spongy Brusca by Retrosaria yarn, because I think it's going to bloom and fill in holes, whereas right now it's quite crisp looking. Yeah. And I just want to see. What happens after it's been blocked. Yeah. So I'm going to hold this up for everyone to see it today. And next time...
You should take a photo, we should get a before and after photo.
Yes, we will. And next time it will have been washed. And actually it will have been washed and probably knitted on some more. Yeah. That we'll see that there's a line where it was washed. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, it's fascinating.
Yeah, that's great.
I love stuff like that. It's exciting and fun. And it makes it for an interesting knit. And I'm knitting these on Chowgu needles, which, by the way, I just love these. I love these so much. Yes. I love the cord on them. Yeah. And the point. They're not too pointy, but they're quite pointy. I like that. All right. Should we go to...
Let's go to Emma.
Let's go to Emma. Emma's talking about her color work. She has a beautiful design that she has come up with, which is gorgeous. Really lovely. And then we'll see you on the other side.
Hi everyone, happy Shopcast Day, whatever that is for you. Some people I know watch on Fridays, some people watch a little later. Hope everyone's been staying warm this February. If you live in the Northern Hemisphere, it's been really cold for all of us along the Eastern Seaboard. So I hope everyone's getting really into their color work knitting, or not. Maybe that's not your jam, in which case I hope you're just enjoying whatever you're knitting. But I've been really enjoying my color work knitting. I've cast on my green cowl as I showed the colors last time that I was going to use. Now the lighting is not amazing, but I think you can see I've done about half of a chart repeat, and so I've changed colors many times. And I have to say, one of my favorite parts about Fair Isle knitting specifically, which is, you know, like the kind of Shetland style of colorwork knitting where you only use 2 colors at a time, but you change colors all the time. So you're changing which 2 colors you're using. And oftentimes we're using our Shetland jumper weight yarn, of which I have a lot. And you can see it. That's why I just did that. And I think one of the things that makes it so potato chippy is that we get to change colors all the time. And so it's like, okay, just one more row, but I want to change colors so that I can see the pattern taking shape and it looks like this beautiful watercolor palette. So yeah, I just think it's really addictive. And I think that's one of the reasons why I love it so much, is because changing colors is very satisfying. So yeah, I mean, I would love to know, like write in the comments, what is the thing that you love most about colorwork knitting? Yeah, I think that you know, transferring the chart to the piece of fabric that you're creating is just so amazing. And I've just always been like totally in love with colorwork knitting as you know, a technique, and it's my absolute favorite, as you can probably tell. Although today I'm wearing cables. I'm wearing my Long Road hoodie, which is from the Contrast book by Meiju KP that was published by Lina a few years ago, because it's really cold. And I just wanted something really cozy to wrap up in. And I've worn this before in the Shopcast, and I've said, you know, if you're looking for a yarn at the Woolly Thistle to purchase to knit something like this, I would recommend Studio Donegal. I think it's a nice thick worsted weight yarn, or maybe Biches Buches, the worsted weight version of the lamb's wool, Le Gros lamb's wool. If you can find that would be also a great choice. So yeah, anything kind of woolen spun and worsted weight. I guess it doesn't have to be woolen spun. Actually, worsted spun would probably make the cables pop out more, but I like the kind of softness of the woolen spun of the version that I've made. So yeah, I've been just kind of enjoying knitting on this only for the last day or two, actually, because I needed to graft the previous cowl that I had knitted, which is right here. I can show it to you. All right. So this is a pink one that I just made. Smells good because I washed it in Eucalyptus, the Jasmine scented Eucalyptus wool wash. So this has got a cashmere and wool lining, but anything soft, if you want to make a lined cowl, anything soft is really good. I've often will hold a strand of silk mohair, double with a strand of like some soft sock yarn to get something nice and cozy, or I'll just find a really soft like DK weight yarn to use there. So yeah, this is what it kind of looks like. I have blocked this as like, I blocked it before I grafted it together. This is what the inside looks like, where I've grafted it with a 3-needle bind off. So I'm going to be doing the same thing for this cowl, knitting the outside, switching to a soft yarn for the inside, and then folding that inside and grafting it together. And I will be releasing these patterns later this year. But yeah, they pop over your head like this, and then that inside lining, once I reblock this, it won't be poking out. It will just stay inside, and it keeps your neck really just cozy because it's so soft. So I love this. If you're outside and it's really cold, you can keep this kind of under your coat and then pull it up to keep your face warm while you're outside. And then you can keep wearing it inside if it's really cold where you are. But it doesn't itch because the Shetland wool doesn't touch your neck, just the cashmere or whatever you're using for the inside. The soft part touches your neck. So yeah, I really have been enjoying this. And like I said, but I actually did something that I'm going to tell you about because I think some people will find it relatable. So I've knitted so many things that I've had to join in around in my life. Hundreds, definitely. And one of the things that I think knitters find the first time, or first few times they knit things in the round, is that sometimes the stitches get twisted somewhere, and like there's a twist. If your stitches are not all aligned in the same direction, there can be a twist in the fabric that gets created. And yeah, that's kind of a drag when you realize it. And you've knitted, like if you do it at the end of the first row, if you notice it, that's fine. You can just kind of tweak it. I've talked about that before. I think Corinne has talked about that before in the Shopcast too. That's a very relatable thing. You can just kind of twist it. But after you knit a couple rounds, that's totally impossible. So, I'm sure all of you have experienced, as I did when I cast this on, well, after I knitted 9 or 10 rows and rounds and didn't realize it. I'm sure all of you experienced the same thing where you realize it's twisted and you're just so disappointed and you think, oh no, I've just done all that hard work. And now I have to rip it out because there is truly nothing that can be done. And you might experience that feeling of disappointment. And, a lot of people express that kind of frustration sentiment. And I think it's hard to avoid that, but it can be really tough. And I think that it's important to remember that we don't have to knit it again. We get to knit it again. When you think about it, knitting is, for most of us, one of those things that doesn't have deadlines or timelines. We do it because we love it, and it's the thing that brings us joy. And oftentimes we're really excited to have the finished product of a knitted object. But, at the end of the day, I always think, if I have to knit something a couple times, especially, I don't want to knit a whole sweater twice if possible. Although if I like the sweater enough and there was something wrong with the size or something, I might, honestly. And at the end of the day, I'm not going to be less happy when I have the finished object. And in fact, sometimes I'm even more satisfied because I know that it took even more work to get there. And I can be proud of the mountain that I've climbed. And so I just wanted to say that because I know some people get really frustrated when they have to rip things out. And that even is true sometimes when folks are swatching. They're like, oh, I don't want to swatch because it's a waste of time. It's not a waste of time. Find some joy in swatching and make it playful and fun, and be curious about it, and maybe it will bring you more joy too. I just think all knitting is good knitting, as Corinne and Maggie say all the time. So I hope everyone's keeping warm and knitting their color work, and hopefully next time you see me on the Shopcast, this will be done. Oops, I just lost a stitch stopper, so hopefully I don't lose. What? Does that ever happen to you? You realize that the stitch stoppers fell off in your bag, or maybe you don't have stitch stoppers. I don't always put them on because usually I just forget. And then you lose stitches. Whoops. That's the best thing about woolly yarn. You don't usually stitches can fall off your needles, but they don't ladder and they don't slip. You notice because they just stay there. The loops just stay there because it's so sticky and wonderful. So yeah, I hope everyone's wrapped up in wool and enjoying their knitting this month. So I'll see you next time. Thanks for being with us.
Emma, thank you so much. I love your new design and can't wait for that to be ready. And also, talking about the Colorwork accessory, Cal, we want to just reiterate that there are prizes for joining us. And Maggie, maybe you could tell us what the prizes are.
Yeah, so we have 3 prizes to start. The grand prize, the first prize is $75 gift card to the Woolly Thistle.
To use on whatever you want.
Whatever you want. Our second prize is a Colorwork yarn sampler, which includes 2 25-gram balls, each of JNS 2-ply jumper weight, Jamieson's of Shetland Spindrift, and Marie Wallen British Breeds 4-ply.
Pretty nice, huh?
Lovely.
Yes.
Third prize is a TWT fan pack, which includes a small tote of our SSK lip balms.
Yep.
Which would be great to show.
We don't have them.
A stitch marker set and some stitch stoppers. All very cute.
Yeah, so there's still time, like I mentioned before, there's still time to join us. There's 3 more weeks. It's an accessory, Cal, so you can join us if you would like to and be in the running for a prize. I
always feel it's important to say that the prizes are picked at random. They are not based on number of projects you get done or the quality of your knit. It's just random.
We also have prizes donated by lovely designers as well. And other companies. So we've got from Simply Shetland, 1 Hairstone Mittens kit by Gudrun Johnston, which is a very popular kit right now. Comes in that blue bag. We'll put a picture of it there. You want to read the next one?
Yes, the lovely designer Noma
Nudlova?
who will put her name there, has donated 2 Monday through Friday socks ebooks and 6 copies of her 2023 late summer pattern collection.
Which is very generous. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We also have pattern downloads. One pattern download to each of 5 winners from Emma, who's our lovely Emma, as well as Ella Gordon. And we have 1 pattern download for 4 winners from Mary O'Shea, who does a lot of wonderful color work. We've got 1 pattern download each to 3 winners from Wee Chen, Carolyn Holbrook. And actually, Wee Chen's changed her. She was the petite knitter.
Yeah. And
she is now Sasky Co. Carolyn Holbrook. Hi, Carolyn. Woolly Needle. Natasha Hornby, who is Moonstruck Mermaid, Virginia Sattler-Reimer, who is at Ginny, and Mona Zilpa, who is at Bunny Muff. And we have the Gither Cowl downloads to each of 3 winners from Amy Palco, who is at Amy Palco. Is that everything?
Hopefully that's it. If we've missed anybody, we're so sorry, but you can see all the prizes listed on our website. They're linked in the show notes.
Yes, so at the end of the Cowl, we will announce the prize winners, and you will be contacted by probably Caitlin. Lovely Caitlin will get in touch with you if you're a winner.
Yeah.
Also, other local news. Saturday, March 15th, which is in a couple of weeks, there is a studio and shop hop occurring locally, and it starts here at the Woolly Thistle. We will be open to welcome you in. You'll get a tote and an adorable sheep pin for visiting us that day. And then you can head down to Junction Fibre Mill and Craft Studies, which is right next door to Junction Fibre Mill, to enjoy a behind-the-scenes tour and the inside scoop of what's new and on the horizon for our local fibre neighbours. So the 3 of us got together under the leadership of the Craft Studies program, which we just love them. They will teach you how to knit, how to spin, how to carve spoons, how to make jewellery. I mean, just all the
How to use
crafts.
your sewing machine?
How to use your sewing machine. I went to that one because I needed reminding and I learned a lot. So fantastic. Very happy to be part of that. They're actually hosting a make-along right now that goes through April 15th. So you can double dip by, knitting with us and knitting with them at the same time.
Yeah.
We'll put their addresses here or maybe down in the show notes so that you can click through and find out more if you're local and want to attend on March 15th.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Should we go to Kelsey next?
Yeah.
Kelsey has a very interesting segment, so be sure to watch. She's talking about the length of time, the cost, and the effort that goes into knitting something Maggie sized versus something my size. So it's very interesting, and watch, and we'll see you on the other side.
Hi, it's Kelsey coming in to talk again about knitting. Not knitting in the way that I've talked about knitting before necessarily, where it's here's what I've knit, here are patterns, here's the yarn. Don't worry, I'm still knitting. I was just thinking a bit about yarn and knitting and sweaters and the expectation of a person to knit a sweater and how quickly you knit a sweater and how many sweaters you knit in a year and all of that. So I'll get into it in a second. And I apologize for anyone who's not ready for this kind of deep dive, but there's a spreadsheet. I got into the spreadsheet. So what I was thinking about is I find that a lot of, well, frankly, honestly, people come in all shapes and sizes. Humans are all sorts of shapes, sizes, weights, heights, bust sizes, waist sizes, whatever. Everybody comes in a different size. And it's hard sometimes to have an expectation of how long it's going to take to knit a sweater, how many sweaters you're going to knit in a year, how much your sweater is going to cost, and then have it not be that. So I know that everybody has noticed, I would assume you've noticed that when you knit a sweater and you order a kit, or if you just order the yarn, you're going to need more yarn for a larger sweater than a smaller sweater. And that, because you need more yarn, is going to cost more money. But also it's going to take more time. So I just wanted to walk through a little bit of very rough calculations just to show a little bit of what this actually means in sweaters and sweater output. I started thinking about this because I was watching a different YouTuber in the knitting world who is probably a small, generally I would she has said that she knits a small in a lot of patterns. So maybe she's knitting around a 36, 38 inch bust size, and is probably of an average height for a woman in the US, you know, in the 5'2", 5'4", somewhere range. I am neither of those things. So when I'm watching her and she, you know, honestly, this is not a person who podcasts full time. This is a person who podcasts occasionally. And so it's, you know, they have another job. They're doing other things, just like most of us, the rest of us. But it's making sweaters and tops and, you know, vests and all these things, you know, one a podcast episode, or working on multiple and finish 2 in a podcast episode. And I've talked about the speed of knitting and going the speed that you want to go for knitting before, but I just wanted to put some numbers behind what that actually looks like, what that actually means. So just because it was an easy sweater that I know many of you have knit or at least familiar with, I used the vanilla sweater pattern. This is not the pattern. This is, if you can see it, I'm sorry if it's backwards, it shouldn't be, but maybe it is. This is a whole little spreadsheet that I made, and I won't make you read that, for sizes A through J, so all the sizes in the vanilla sweater. So between a sweater size, not a bust size, so a sweater size of 34¼ to 66 inches. So what I went through, as if you can read this along the side here, oh, sorry if it's not focused, body stitches and around, so not the yoke at this point. The number of inches is recommended to be 8.5. So how many rounds, the 64 here is how many rounds in the body stitches. And then doing some math, going through, adding the ribbing, adding all the stitches, the total body together. The smallest size, again, maybe I shouldn't be holding this, but the smallest size you are knitting just for the body. So after you've split for sleeves, 14,212 stitches. So just from there to the bottom, regular, length. For the largest size, you're knitting 27,000. So not quite double, but almost double. If you add in, I did a very rough calculation of a trapezoid for the raglan area. If you add it all in together, the total body, so not including the sleeves because I gave up calculating sleeves for all the sizes, 23,137 stitches, so 23,000 for the size A, 51,000 for the size J, and somewhere in 32, 36, 39 for some of the middle sizes. So that's more than double the number of individual stitches, not length, not size, no, individual stitches for the size A and the size J. And okay, Kelsey, yeah, of course, there's going to be more stitches if you're going longer this way and there's a bit longer this way. Yeah, okay, that's going to be a different number. What I did from there is I calculated time. This is, again, very approximate, using about 20 stitches a minute as an approximation. So you're knitting, you take a break, you move your stitches, you look at the chart, whatever. 20 stitches felt reasonable. Definitely let me know if that doesn't seem reasonable, but you also can scale this up and down a little bit because it's the same rate of stitches for all the sizes. I just did the same. The smallest size would take you 19 hours to knit, 19.3, and the largest size would take you 42 hours. So again, more than double the amount of time. Even the middle sizes, like if you knit the size that's approximately 50-inch sweater, so a size E, which I think is a good number of people will knit the size E. You're knitting for 30 hours as opposed to 19 hours for the very smallest size. It's about 50% more time to knit kind of the middle sizes than the smallest size. And then I went through again and estimating, say you're lucky enough to knit an average of an hour a day, which is pretty high. In a year, you could knit about 19 sweaters if you were knitting the smallest size, 12 or 13 if you're knitting the middle sizes, and 8 if you're knitting the largest size. And then weeks per sweater, this is a complete rabbit hole and I apologize if I'm losing you. Weeks per sweater is 2.8 for the smallest, 6.1 for the largest. So again, more than double the amount of time, but it just felt more real to talk about it in terms of time and in terms of number of weeks to knit a sweater, because a lot of people think of like, oh, knitting a sweater in 2 weeks, knitting a sweater in a month, knitting a sweater in 2 months. If you could knit this at the same rate, it's the same stitch rate, if you could knit the smallest size in 2.8 weeks, you could knit the largest size in 6.1. So it's just good to know. It's good to know. And additionally, on top of these numbers, when I was saying, 23,000 to 51,000 is the number of stitches, every extra inch you're adding to the length, in the smallest size, you're adding 1,300, so 1,300 stitches to add an additional inch of length. In the largest size, you're adding 2,550 for inch of length. So every inch you want to knit longer, which in the larger sizes, I would assume you may be knitting a little bit longer because your bust is the distance from your top of your shoulder to cover your bust and then cover your body is potentially a bit longer. You're going to be needing to knit 2,500 stitches as opposed to 1,300 stitches to add every inch. And in the middle, again, 1,900 to add that additional inch. So when people ask me like, oh, how much more yarn do I need to knit another inch? I have to ask them what size they're knitting, because the smallest sizes are going to need less additional yarn than the largest sizes. Less additional yarn, less additional time, less additional money. And so just going through, and this is purely based on the kits, the smallest sizes call for 5 balls and the largest sizes call for 9 balls of fennel yarn. And that is a range of $49.75 to $89.55. So I guess the moral of this whole story is, and that was a lot of numbers and I just ran through them, so absolutely leave a message in the comments if you have any questions, but I just did this for my own edification as a person who is knitting in the middle to larger end of some of these sizes and adding additional length, and then being like, oh, well, I only knit 4 sweaters this year, but I knit some gloves and whatever, and comparing to people who knit 12 and understanding that comparison is the thief of joy. It's just nice objective numbers to be able to say, yeah, my sweater takes longer. My sweater takes longer to knit, which means I can knit fewer sweaters in a year. It takes more weeks to knit because I have more stitches. And if I'm adding more length, that's both more length of stitches, and each round of length is more stitches than on a smaller size. So just putting everything in perspective, I called about 7,000 yards of knitting per year, a guess at something that someone might be doing. That comes from my own handful of patterns from the last handful of years, about a good estimate-ish about how many thousand yards of yarn, so not related to the weight of the yarn, but how many thousand yards you knit in a year. I said 7,000, and just calling it the same number all the way across. You could knit 7 sweaters in the smallest size and only 4 sweaters in the largest size in the same amount of yardage in a given year. So again, it's just me coming in here and talking through another way of making sure that everyone feels welcome in this community, that everyone knows that whatever pace you're knitting, whatever price and budget you have to knit with, we love to have you. We're here for you. We completely understand when more expensive yarns, maybe, the top expensive yarns could be more out of the budget for a larger size. They're going to be more expensive. If you're knitting a Marie Wallen sweater that's color work, so it's 2 strands of yarn all the time and in one of her all over patterns, for the large sizes, you can run up over $300, and when the smaller sizes are $180, which both are expensive, but one is more expensive than the other. So just wanted to put these numbers to it, and sorry if that was boring for anybody, but I was really interested to see exactly what that works out to. Again, really approximate. I didn't include the sleeves, which are more likely to be a similar length, but have different amounts of decreases. Like, it got complicated really quickly, so I abandoned ship on that one. But if you're knitting smaller sizes, if you're knitting shorter sizes, if you're knitting cropped, if you're knitting sleeveless, you're going to be using less yarn, less money, less time than any of those other things that add additional yarn. So I think I'm going to get off of that soapbox for now, but just wanted to share that. And I hope you're enjoying your knitting. I hope you're enjoying your projects. I hope you're loving your sweaters and your cowls and your mittens and your hats and your socks and everything that you're doing. And I'll talk to you next time.
Thank you, Kelsey, for that very thoughtful, informative, and spreadsheet-heavy segment. It's fascinating, and I think Maggie, you and I have talked quite a bit about the feeling of pressure to knit fast, and because we have just turned it to a new year, there's lots of videos out there, and they're wonderful and fun to watch. But it might leave you feeling like you're not a fast enough knitter because you didn't knit 24 sweaters in a year and that kind of thing.
Yeah. I know my YouTube feed right around the turn of the year and all through January. I still see a few of them, but definitely through January was everything I knit in 2024 and these massive piles. Yes. And I found I think I watched maybe one, and then I was like, and it was delightful. I loved seeing what they knit. I don't remember who it is, but their knits were delightful. But I found that it left me feeling just a little uneasy.
Aww. Yeah.
And I don't compare myself too much, but I think it's easy to just get in that mindset.
When it's served up to you as it is for comparison,
and then especially I'm sure some of it's the algorithm. You watch one, and then they're like, "Oh, she likes that," so then I'm flooded with them.
Yeah.
And I think it's great, but I'm not somebody who knits because I'm trying to get a massive quantity knit throughout the year.
No, and actually, I think that mindset helps you knit the way that is satisfying to you. Like, I am not racing to get this finished at all costs, this cable sweater.
Right.
I want it to look the way I want it to look. So,
right.
Knit, reknit. Comparison is the thief of joy, as we all know. Right. And so I think Kelsey was just picking up on that, and I think she had some lovely points in there.
I think too, like my current cabled project is coming together quite quickly. It's a worsted weight yarn.
Oh yeah, that too.
Many of the things I knit last year were all fingering weight.
Yeah.
That just takes longer.
It just does.
And I'm not super fast at knitting. So although this looks quite speedy, it is compared to over Colorwork fingering weight.
Yeah.
But
absolutely,
I still get so much joy out of knitting those, and it's not a race.
Well, I think Thistlers get that. If you're new here, hello and welcome, and we're so glad you're here. Seasoned Thistlers will know that the woolly thistle marches to the beat of his own drum. We do our own thing. And that is to knit with love and just excitement and the adventure of it. And it's more about the experience, at least for me, than it is about, how much stuff I can rack up super quickly. So, but that doesn't stop you getting super excited and obsessively knitting on something.
For sure. And sometimes I do just want a really quick knit. So I'll knit a hat or I'll knit something really to just get that, because there is a very satisfying feeling about finishing something.
In the back.
But also having those slower, and then if you are, like Kelsey is very tall.
Yes.
And she's just, there's a lot of stitches in there, as she said, and I think that's okay.
More. It's not even, it's almost double sometimes, depending.
Right.
So, yes, our hats are off to everybody who knits regardless. And I just thought it was a really interesting take, and I appreciate her bringing it up.
Right.
Because I think it's something we all sort of know, but we tend not to talk about, you know.
I think, too, like, it's good to take the time. If you're knitting something for yourself, you shouldn't feel like you're in a competition to get it done as quickly as possible. It takes as long as it takes. Also, enjoy the process.
And with our cows, we put a deadline on it just so that we can, move on. But, I mean, how many times have you not finished something? I know I've not finished something
almost
in
every
that
time.
And so,
as it is, I might not finish this scarf in time.
Right. And so you'll just come back to it in your own knitting in your own time, and we're completely okay with that.
My vest from last year, I finished in the sweater cowl.
We just make things up as we go.
And we'll see in our Facebook group that people will share I didn't finish this in that cowl,
but I finished it now.
Right.
And then
I love seeing those. I'm glad that you should keep working on those. Like the cowl is mostly, it's for community, it's fun.
Yes.
Sometimes it is motivating to have that deadline, but if you don't hit the deadline,
but if it doesn't motivate you, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
So I think each to their own. Enjoy your knitting however you go, whether it's, fast, slow, or, if you're knitting twice as many stitches as somebody else, acknowledge that. That is true.
Right.
And that is a lot more knitting. And so enjoy the knits that you do finish and enjoy the process of getting there.
Yeah.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Kelsey.
Yes, thank you, Kelsey. Very thought-provoking. And let's talk about Lopi, because we've got some bouncers with us today who have changed what they're wearing. And yeah, so Lopi, we have a couple of Lopi trunk shows here right now. So we are festooned in all kinds of Lopi everywhere. And we can't show you them all now here probably, but this one I thought was particularly nice.
Yes, it's
This
quite lovely.
yellow color.
I think there's a tag on
I'm
that
looking for the
sleeve.
tag. There we go. So let's see. I love that they've got their logo here, which is very similar to the pure British wool logo. This is called Vorsól, and this is a medium size, which is very generous, I think. And it's knit in Lopi in 3 different colors using needles US 4, 6. Using needles 4, 6, and 7. Bless you.
Thank you.
And I think this is super pretty.
Yeah.
I love it.
I
think
love
it's-
those colors.
Yeah.
I think too, what I love about that, I'd love to, I'm gonna need to try that one on before it leaves here.
Yeah.
I love yellow, I love that color, but it doesn't look great up here, but the way that they have the blue at the top.
Right. You could get away with that.
I think I could get away with it. I think that's a lovely trick to sort of be able to wear the yellow.
I think that's something you
without
think
it.
quite a lot about, which I need to maybe think more about.
I do,
But you
because there are,
do.
like even this, sometimes this color washes me out, but having the blue underneath is a nice
Gives you
little
that.
pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. And I love that it's just a little seed stitch hem, which is going to hang nicely and not cinch in or anything. And I do believe it is steeked. I would have to believe that it's steeked. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Just lovely. So there's that. And what do you have over your side? Which
Over here we have a lovely model. She's got a turtleneck and long sleeves.
love the color
all over
on this.
color work.
Yeah.
This is called Jörð. We'll put the name there. And this is knit with 5 colors. Color 56, 57, 54, 9418, and 9419.
Beautiful.
It is really, really lovely.
I love that band of
Just
gray going
gorgeous.
through it.
I know. There's actually like 2 grays in there.
Oh, yeah.
So you get the
yeah.
lighter and the darker.
Yeah.
Just really lovely.
Gorgeous. So, yes, if you're local,
Wonderful.
come visit and see all the Lopi love that we have here right now.
Yeah.
We're trying to keep Lopi in good supply for you.
Are we inserting another video of the Lopi knits in this one? I thought
Yes.
that yes, we are. So here you go. Enjoy a little bit of the Lopi show.
All right.
Hey friends, welcome to another edition of the Woolly Thistle Lopi Trunk Show for the week. So we have our second Lopi Trunk Show in. So I'm going to be talking about a few of those sweaters that we have. I'm currently wearing my Lopi sweater. It's the Felix cardigan, knit and let Lopi. I love it. So first we'll tell you about the children's sweater. It's the Asa, knit and let Lopi. It's in Lopi book 41. The sweaters I'm going to be talking about today are all out of Lopi book 41. Unfortunately, we can't get that book right now, but all the patterns are available on Ravelry. So we're happy to help you pick out colors, color combinations, figure out how much yarn you need, and then you can get your pattern on Ravelry and we'll get you the yarn. So again, this is the Asa children's sweater. Soft and nice and just a great kids piece. Next we have the Goss sweater knit in Plotalopi. So Plotalopi is the unspun Lopi yarn that comes in plates. So this one is got a lot of color work on the back. The front is just a plain V-neck with a seed stitch border. So that's that one. The next one we've got is the Jörð knit in let Lopi. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors for this beautiful funnel neck colorwork sweater. So again, out of Lopi book 41. The next piece is one of our favorites. We've been trading off wearing it here in the shop. It is a vest. It's a Lopi vest. Comes together sides with these little clasps. And it is knit in let Lopi and it's steeked. So the whole thing is knit in the round and steeked. And the facings on it are knit with iron band. So it's using the fingering weight yarn to give a little less bulk on the facings for it. So again, this is the let Lopi vest out of book 41 called Rice, R-I-S. Again, in let Lopi and iron band. So if you're planning your vest for the vest cowl that's coming up, this would be a great option. So do some color work in a nice easy in the round. Next up is the Vorsól, again in Let Lopi. Beautiful color work, and it is, I believe it's knit flat and steeked, or sorry, knit in the round and steeked. So yeah, this is a beautiful another one in Let Lopi with the seed stitch borders. Next we have one in Alafas Lopi. It's called the Uppbót in Alafas Lopi in book 41. And comes in 2 different colorways, so really pretty. The other one I believe is mostly shades of blue, but again, we can help you out, pick out any colors that you're interested in. And last but not least, we have the Moska, also in Alafas Lopi. It's 3 colors. It's knit flat and steeked with a zipper. So yeah, it's designed to be a man's sweater, but could easily be worn by men or women alike. So thanks so much for checking out the Lopi Trunk Show with us. And if you have any questions or need help picking our colors, let us know. We'll see you next time.
We hope you enjoyed that. And again, if you're local, come on in and see these in person. We do have some new kits, Lopi kits in the shop right now for the Alexander and the Loafered cardigan from book 40. Those are available in the shop now, and we are waiting for our stock of the Lopi books to arrive. They just weren't included for some reason in our last shipment.
Yeah.
So we're waiting on those, but those kits, the patterns are available on Ravelry, so you can still purchase your kit and get knitting.
Yeah. I want to say too, heads up that we are behind the scenes getting ready for our next Cowl, which you'll want to join in and knit with us. It will be our shawl Cowl, and I don't have dates for that on my note here, but we can put dates of when we're casting on for that.
Yeah.
Have you thought, or do you know what you're going to be knitting in the shawl
I'm
Cowl?
not sure what I'm going to be knitting. I have so many whips right now. I saw
one
recently, I was watching Anne at Caprine Cottage, and she's knitting the Tara shawl. She finished one from Gudrun Johnston, and she was knitting on a second one. And that's from Gudrun's Shetland Trader 3 book.
Yes.
And it's just a lovely, long, sort of skinny, and it has that, I don't know, old shelled or the razor shell. And I have so much JNS. And you kind of can't, it would be a great use. And you can really kind of play with colors, and it's just fun. So I think that right now that's in the lead.
Well, for me, I've already decided I am fully committed. I'll be knitting Carolyn Holbrook's All About the Ruffle, because when this came in, Carol, you're so lovely to send us this as a sample.
Yes, thank you, Carolyn.
When this came in, I thought, yep, I have to knit this. It's knitted in Scottish Yarn Festival DK. It's so bouncy, and I just love that ruffle. I can't wait to knit that. I can't wait to knit all of this. So I'm going to be knitting this in, I've picked out a couple of colors.
It actually uses the 4-ply.
Oh,
I wanted to double check that. So it uses Scottish Yarn Festival, but 4-ply.
4-ply. I'm happier about that. I love that 4-ply.
I mean, it's a lovely,
it's a very
squishy.
squishy.
It's so squishy.
So I might knit it in Duncan. My dad's name was Duncan.
Oh, nice.
But I love that color. I also really love how juicy this green is. I think that would be good for my wardrobe.
Errol.
And then I always love this color. Yeah, what color's that?
That's Errol.
And then this is Bruce, which is a lovely light blue. Yeah. But I think it's going to be one of these two.
Yeah. I'd still like to knit the Irene slip over.
Yes.
And I think this.
That would be so good.
Nice.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
So much to knit.
So I have been holding off and casting this on. Normally I would just be racing to cast on, and I'm like, no, that's going to be.
This is gonna fly off your needles.
I just can't wait.
This is gonna be your happy
miles of garter stitch.
I know. Yes, miles of garter stitch, and then the payoff at the end is that little ruffle. So cute.
Yes, I cannot wait. It'll be gorgeous.
We will have some new kits when the shawl opens up.
Yep.
Sign-ups will open up. I know they're coming in a couple of weeks. We can either put a date here or it'll be in the show notes. But we'll We'll definitely let you know, but
Yes.
that's the next thing. So be thinking about what
very
you want to knit.
excited. Yes, and honestly, the way we're going this year, we could be knitting our whole wardrobe for the next year.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be thoughtful about what I am knitting and
Yeah.
thinking about colors, because I will have just knit, some other things,
Yeah.
or we'll be knitting other things. We'll
Yeah.
have a vest cal after.
Yeah.
And just how do I want it all to go together or not? Okay, so that is that. What else do we want to talk about? Maggie?
There is lots in the shop right now. Lina has opened their spring issue 24. This looks lovely. This is on pre-order now. We can put the photo here.
Yep.
And they also have, it will be live on pre-order by the time you're seeing this, is a new book called Everyday Knits.
Yes.
And you can pre-order both of those, and as soon as they arrive, we will ship them to you.
We did get Trails and Valleys in, which is Lina's
Yes.
latest book.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
This book is really gorgeous.
Yeah. Let's see. I love the smell of
Lindsay
it.
Fowler had her first book. What was the name of that book? I'm sorry.
We'll put it.
Oh, Salt and Timber. There we go. I knew it would come to me. Salt and Timber was also a beautiful book. I believe that one is out of print now. So don't miss out on this one. Trails and Valleys is absolutely beautiful. Great cardigan.
Yeah, that's the cover.
There's a really fun shawl in here.
Yeah, find it.
Let me
Ooh.
see. It's really cute.
Nice beanie hats, lots of socks.
Yes,
little
cute
scarflets.
socks. Where is that shawl? It is so lovely, and it there's like a little twist. Here we go. So here is a hat.
Oh.
It's called the cabin hat.
Oh.
But check this out.
Oh.
You can lay it flat and play checkers on it.
Oh my
I just find
gosh.
that that's so cute. So, while you're out camping or
Yeah.
just out and about.
That is amazing.
And she gives you the pattern. It looks like it's a little crochet pattern for the
Oh.
discs. So not only does it look really great as a hat.
You can play a game on it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
So I
That's
love
amazing.
it. I just thought that was so cute.
So we have those in the shop now.
Yeah, these are available and in the shop now.
This came in.
Oh, this book is gorgeous.
We've been waiting a long time.
Yeah, so this is Shetland Fine Lace Knitting by Carol Christensen.
Gorgeous.
And this book has lots of history and charts. So if you are somebody who just really loves
The history and the tradition of it all, and just all the different patterns are in here.
on top of just like beautiful photography.
Yeah. So Carol Christensen was interviewed as part of our HAP exploration video set, which we have available in the shop,
Yeah, there's
along with
lots of
Gudrun
just charts.
and a few other wonderful Shetland
Yeah,
knitters.
it's really beautiful.
But this book is amazing. I'm so glad to have it now. I
Yeah.
have a copy of my own at home,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
we'll enjoy it
it's just
immensely.
really gorgeous.
This is the sort of thing that just sort of deepens our appreciation, isn't
Yeah.
it? Knowing the history.
It does.
And then we're sold out of our Victorian House cats, which I'm thrilled about.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that they sold so quickly, so we
Yeah.
will get more of these in.
For sure.
My kitty cat's not here. It still doesn't have a face. I need to do the face. And then I will bring it in.
Oh,
But look at this little
so
guy. And which one would I knit next? Or actually, you want to knit the one where...
I want to knit the little sleepy one who's all curled up.
I like the one... Aw. Yeah, I might do this one next. The little sort of sitting guy.
Oh, very cute.
Yeah. I don't know where your little sleepy one is.
I don't know.
But yeah, so my cat is sitting on, there.
There it is. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. Look at him. My cats sleep like that all the time.
I walked into my office and saw my cat and thought it was a cat. I mean, ugh. So what are you doing here?
Yeah,
Oh,
we've
it's
talked
just
about knitting cats and just having them in the shop. That'd be really,
watching.
really cute.
Yes. I'm super excited about this book.
Yeah.
Maggie, you
Yes,
just got
this
this
is
in.
called Knitting Around. It's by Elizabeth Zimmerman. I think this is so Knitting Around is not a new publication, but I think this is a new copy of it, a new
edition.
A new edition. Thank you very much. It's Monday morning here.
And
And it is absolutely beautiful.
I'm in
you
love.
see Elizabeth's history. You see her artwork.
Yes.
You
the
see
face.
there are knitting patterns. Elizabeth was just a real treasure. There is a pie shawl pattern in here.
Look at her beautiful artwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have long had a pie shawl on my to knit list.
Yes, a pie shawl. And her pie shawl is, famous. So
Yeah, there's a really cute little vest in here. It was that one. I actually really like this vest. It's called the knitted Mobius. And you see it on everybody. There's a photo here. Look at this photo. It's absolutely groovy.
Let me see.
But I think there's something timeless about it. I love, like, you've got the gentleman wearing it. It's just a unisex vest.
I love it.
I absolutely love it.
We could make her own version
I
of
do.
that.
I just really, really love it. This book is really wonderful. And then there is a Fair Isle yoke in there, which she has her easy Fair Isle yoke percentage system. It's just an amazing book.
And color work, and oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is sort of, I don't know, this just feels like an homage, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And
It's just really
about
wonderful.
her knitting, her design, her
Oh,
art.
and then there's that cable. Yes, look at this. Look at this. It's just really wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Elizabeth was really a treasure, and we're happy to have this in the shop.
So
now.
we have this in now.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
We wanted to share with you, we do have, as we showed earlier, I'm knitting from Rama 425, that lovely booklet.
Yeah.
We have a couple other Rama booklets
Yeah.
that we wanted to highlight because they also have really great patterns in them.
And they do really well in the shop.
They really do. And I think I just want more people to know that we actually have them.
Yeah.
So this one is Rama Garn 417, which uses Rama VAMs. And
one of
this
my
booklet,
favorites.
these are a great value. You can see they've got, this one has 6 patterns in it. I love this one on the cover. It's that traditional Norwegian style knitting. Here it is in a different color. I love that.
If you're knitting for a man, then this is a great one to go to.
Yeah.
There are several patterns in here. I love that green
I know.
so much. And the photography is really nice. Oh, look
Oh
at
my
that.
gosh. Yeah.
Raglan color work all over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just really
beautiful.
classic designs.
And then this one is accessories.
Yeah, this one is all mittens. I love, look at the glasses. Sometimes the styling really kills me. But I love them. The patterns in here are really great. They're a great value. You get 6 different mitten patterns in here. It's just really, really fun.
Yeah. So we really enjoy stocking these, and
And
check
we have
them
a
out.
couple more in the shop too, so you can always head to the shop and see if they're out of stock. You can sign up for the Notify Me. We will restock them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that all our books for now
I
that we
think
wanted to
that's
talk about?
all the books for now.
More project bags. Harris tweed zippered pouches. I'll show you mine. I don't know that we're getting these colors in. Oh, and you already.
Yeah, I showed mine, but
Yes.
I think good to show.
So this is cat fluff. This is one of mine. It's orange, obviously, and inside it is brushed cotton, which just
Yeah.
feels lovely. I actually I keep a lot of my electronic cables
Nice.
and plugs and things. in
Yeah,
some
so
of
I
these.
think not just for your knitting.
Not just for knitting, but great for a sock project. There's stitch markers in this
Yeah.
one. So yes, these are coming back and they will be launching any minute. So
Yeah.
go to the website if you're interested, sign up for back in stock.
I think at this rate because these are made, I don't know if you want to tell a little bit about how
Yeah.
they're made, where they're made for
Yeah,
us.
so these are made for us. They're our design, and they're made for us by Studio Tolsta, which is a designer from Harris in the Scottish Hebrides. She's married to a gentleman who is Indian, and they have a workshop in India. And Katrina of Tolsta Designs spends half her life in Scotland and half over in India. And I believe she's over there right now making our bags for us. So these are made with Harris tweed, which is the only tweed to be protected by an act of parliament in the UK, and it gets the orb. You can see the orb emblem there after it has been deemed to be Harris tweed. And to be Harris tweed, it needs to be made with pure wool on the island on islands on the Outer Hebrides. So that's Harris and Lewis and a couple of others on looms at the weaver's home, and they are hand spun, and then they're finished back at the
Hand
mill.
spun or hand woven?
Sorry, hand woven. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then they're finished back at the mill where they're washed and thwacked and all of that
Yeah.
good stuff, and only then does it get the stamp on the fabric.
Yeah.
And then makers are allowed to use this to sew onto products made with it. So it's a very special and wonderful fabric.
Yeah, and you can only get the Harris Tweed Authority label from the Harris Tweed Authority. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so working with Katrina is a dream. She's really great to work with. And working with her people in India helps make it a little bit more affordable, but also we're confident that, you know, everything is above board and
Yeah,
and
so
wonderful.
you're supporting two women-owned businesses, small businesses. These are just, they're made with lots of care and attention to detail.
Handmade in a lot of cases. If you go to the website, you'll see photos of them being made.
Yeah, and we do have our little woolly thistle
Yes,
label
we
on the
do.
side.
That's on the side. And again, brushed cotton on the inside to give it a lovely feel to the hand. And there's a pocket in there.
Yeah.
And so we're proud of these. We still have the tote bag and the carry-all as well. We have some of these in stock. This is the carry-all. And then we've got the tote bag. And we'll put a picture as well of all three together. We do have some in the same fabric in all three sizes, which is very nice. And
These are really lovely.
yeah, and I'm sure on the next episode we'll show you all the new colors and all that we have.
Yeah.
They're not here yet, and I think we've actually sold out of most of these. That we can't even show you what they would be.
Yeah.
These go fairly fast. We are getting as many as we can, so that everybody who wants one can get one. But I think these are special and made for us. So yes. So that's
All right.
that.
So
Coming
those are
soon.
coming soon. Yeah. A little update on dolly mixtures. Do we have dolly mixtures here behind you?
There. So here's dolly mixtures. Maggie, do you want to speak to them arriving?
Yeah, so we do have an order that we're expecting. It was as of today, it is currently being packed, and we're waiting for it to be our order to be picked up and head this way. And depending on whether or not the weather or the storms, it just takes time sometimes.
Yeah.
But we do have an order that we expect very soon. If it's not in the shop already, you can sign up for the back in stock. We have ordered a lot. We ordered a lot so that all of you who have been waiting patiently can get it.
Because we had reordered, and that order came in and went out pretty quickly.
Just like that.
Starting to see some of these finished knitting too. But yes, so if you want, it's coming soon. We're working
it's
on
been
it.
really fun to see in the Facebook group.
Yeah.
VJ has been knitting. I've seen VJ's. I'm sure she's not the only one, but it's been really delightful to see her
Thank you,
enthusiasm.
VJ.
So yeah.
Yes, so yes,
lovely
I love this, and hopefully you do too.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else do we have, Maggie?
We have, do we want to, let's go to our interview with Mary Jean.
Yes, so let me preface by saying Mary Jean is fantastic. She's a world traveler and she loves to take people along with her. And I'm going to Scotland with her in the end of May or early June. And then she has another trip in the planning stages now, which I think is available for signing up to Barcelona. So let's go to my interview with her where you can find out all about that. And we'll see you on the other side. Hi, everybody. Welcome to my lovely chat with Mary Jean Packer of Battenkill Textile Tours. You're also the founder of Battenkill Fibre Mill, and you produce our Rambler yarn. So we have a long history together, and we're also going to Scotland soon, which is very exciting. But you're actually here to talk about another trip that you're getting ready to launch, and we wanted to share it with everyone. So why don't you tell folks what you're up to?
Well, hi, thank you for having me on. And we do love making your Rambler. It's such a good use of US sourced wool.
It
It's
is.
a perfect fit with the kind of sheep that like to live here in the Northeast.
Yeah,
And the kind of knitters that like to shop with you. So
that's right. The
wow.
wonderful thing.
And so based on that being such a wonderful thing, we thought maybe we should go on a trip to Scotland. And
Yeah. And we're going in May, and that sold out. So I got to meet everybody that was going on a Zoom call that you and I had recently, and that was really, really fun. And so, but I'm dying to hear about this next trip because you are hosting some fabulous trips, but you want to highlight one that sounds spectacular. So why don't you go ahead?
We added it to the lineup because we've been waiting to get all the details together. And I'll tell you, it's called Barcelona Knits. And for people who don't know, that's like Rhinebeck.
Oh my
It's like
God.
the Rhinebeck for Europe.
Oh my
It's
God.
crazy. So we
So
couldn't
when,
offer it until we had everything set. Like
yeah,
getting a room, you know how hard it is to get a room at Rhinebeck. Well,
right,
imagine getting a room for 20 people at Rhinebeck.
right. Yeah. In Spain as well. I mean, it's not
Yeah,
even,
not
here.
even, yeah.
When is the trip and when's the event?
The trip is 9 nights, 10 days. Because if you're gonna fly across the ocean,
You got to make it worthwhile.
you may
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
But so the trip starts on Wednesday, November 12th.
Okay.
And it ends in time for Thanksgiving on Friday, the 21st.
Fantastic.
So you'll
So
be home in time to settle in, get your turkey defrosted, and have that whole week.
and you'll have some great stories to tell around the table as well, I'm
Oh,
sure.
yeah. So
So
I've
tell
never
us,
been. It's so exciting. Um,
yeah. Do you have much of the history of the event itself that you're sort of working this around? The Barcelona Knits, has it been going for a long time?
no, only 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
And each year it gets even bigger than the year before, which is why getting the rooms is now so hard.
Right.
The tour company that we're working with has worked out when the classes go on sale that we're going to be able to get coupon codes.
Uh-huh.
So anybody who signed up on our trip has a much better chance of getting into a class.
Okay.
And the bus will bring us, just like at Rhinebeck, bring you right to the gate, and in
Right.
you'll go with your group pass. And
This is a detaily kind of question, but is it an outdoor event, indoor, or both? Like what's the weather like in November in Barcelona?
oh, it's beautiful because
Yeah.
it's on the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
You know, all the oranges and everything,
Yeah.
they grow there. So
Yeah.
it's nice in Barcelona. I mean, it'll feel like autumn, but it
It'll be
won't be
perfect
wintry.
woolly, sheepy weather, right?
Yes, yeah,
Not
because
too
Spain
hot.
is quite a warm place.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not like Greece warm, but it's
Right. It is
quite
warm there.
warm.
Yeah. So, okay, so you'll be there in November. They'll get coupons for classes and a better chance of getting into the classes. What about the teachers? Are they coming from the States too, or?
Yes, from all over the world. Uh,
Right.
of note, a friend of ours at the textile tours is Carol Feller.
Yep.
Before she was famous, we
Yep.
met her in Ireland as just a gal who had written a book and liked to knit, especially cable.
Right.
We took a class with Carol, and well, I had met her at the old TNA before it was H&H. And
Right.
so we've just stayed friends. And when I saw that she was teaching a class at Barcelona Knits, I said, well, why not teach us an entire day the day before Barcelona Knits?
Oh, she's
Yeah.
doing that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is super. That is fantastic.
So that's exclusive to us. Like
Okay.
when you go to Barcelona Knits, it's like taking a class at Vogue Knitting or Rhinebeck.
Right.
There'll be other people you don't know in your class.
Right.
That Friday before Barcelona Knits, it's just us and Carol Feller.
That is amazing. That is quite a perk. And I guess, Barcelona is in Spain, so English will not be the first language spoken around you all the time, but there will be you will be able to take classes with English speaking instructors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything that we do, and we have a guide with us
Yeah.
who can help make that bridge. And when we went to Germany, we opted out of a guide the whole time because it was a pretty clear itinerary. And really, we did fine with
The
smiling
local
and nodding and what little German we knew and what amazing English everyone we met.
Well, that's the truth, and that continues on. I think that a lot of people do speak English, or you can at least get by. And actually, that's the adventurous spirit, isn't it? Is to try and get by.
And it's not like we're trying to just hail down
Yeah, you're
random.
not hitchhiking or anything. It's
Right, we have a coach, and the
yeah,
coach driver knows where we're going and can speak
yeah.
English
So
to.
Tell us more about what you will be doing on the trip on the other days.
I am so excited. I probably will ramble a little on this point because of my excitement.
That's
There's a
good.
lot to see and do in Barcelona, but as you know, I'm not getting any younger, and I'm not sure when I'm going back to Spain. So this is a little different than the average tour company because
Yeah.
in general, it started out as me and a few people who wanted to visit the Finger Lakes when I used to just own the yarn store in Watkins Glen. And they all
Yeah.
said they want to go to Ireland. That was 2006. So I found a tour company and we went to Ireland. There was like 24 of us. Then they told all their friends. And then I met people like you who told your friends. And so now I have this mailing list of like 4,000 names of people who want to just go on a trip with me. It is the
Right.
weirdest thing.
It's the best thing though. It's fun.
And so they know that all the other people who go on the trips, they're their immediate community. So even I love this phrase. I probably can't say it right. Even if you're a solo traveler, you won't be alone.
Right. I think that's really important that, you can sign up as an individual and have as much or as little of that group experience as you want, but you're
Right.
not alone. You're not all by yourself.
No, it's far from independent travel, but you can
Right.
definitely come solo. And if you're looking to find friends, well, this is the place.
Yeah.
If you're looking to find yourself, this is the place too. You can
Yeah.
get quiet on the bus while we're moving around and journal and knit,
Yeah.
and then have a nice drink with us and go to your room, and we won't
Yeah.
see you till tomorrow. And
Yeah.
so you're pretty much alone. If you want to,
Yeah.
we can do it, but
Yeah.
it's a very friendly group, and people
Yeah.
who thought they might want to be alone end up getting lured in.
Having a great time with like-minded, travelers and knitters. So,
Right.
so this is, made for knitters. You're going to Barcelona Knits.
I'll say one of the reasons I'm excited, and this is how I got into it, is I'm not getting any younger. And so at the end of the day, these trips are really people tagging along with me, going places I want to go. Even though there's 30 of you, you're still just going on going with
Yeah.
me, the solo traveler who brought 30 friends. And
Right.
so I want to go to Madrid.
Yeah.
So halfway through, after Barcelona Knits ends, we're gonna go across Spain. I
Yeah.
hate riding the bus too long, so we're stopping one night in the middle.
Good.
I can't pronounce the name of the town, Zaragoza, but
Okay.
in Zaragoza is a tapestry museum that
Oh,
is famous and
wow.
amazing. And
Yes.
so it makes sense when you're looking at the map, there's all these places halfway, but this
Yeah.
looked like a good halfway.
Yeah.
Anyhow, when we get to Madrid, we're going to the Wool Dreamers.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. All of my people will just be so excited about that. Yeah. I'm going to
Well,
say,
me too, is we share a lot of values, Battenkill fibers and
yeah.
Wool Dreamers.
Exactly, exactly. And we love wool dreamers here at the Woolly Thistle. They're doing such important work as you yourself are too. So that is fantastic. So do you have an appointment with them that they're going to give you a talk or something like that, or a tour?
Talk, a tour, of course, shopping,
Yeah.
yeah, the whole bit. And
Oh,
also, in Madrid, there's another tapestry museum, but this one is also and workshop. So
oh,
you actually get to see people hand tying tapestries. And that's why when people go to our website to get the itinerary or to register, the way we travel, it's the platform I use to manage the trip. That you have to pick one signature photo to put in the top, like how our trip to Scotland
yeah,
has the castle in it.
yeah,
Well, this signature photo is that tapestry being woven.
right.
It's like
It
hand
sounds
knotted
amazing.
rugs. It's something I didn't actually know Spain was well known for. You kind of
Yeah,
Turkey for these kind of rugs, not
right, right. Interesting. Fantastic. So you'll go to Madrid and spend some time there?
yes. And we're going to a castle and a winery and Miss Kit's Yarn Shop, which apparently is the
That's
best
fun.
known yarn shop there. And then the tour company suggested this, but I think people will love. This is going to be quite an experience. We're going to go to a cooking class.
Oh, fun. What are you
Yeah.
going to cook? Paella?
Yes, as a matter of fact. Yeah, I mean, I can't make it very well, so maybe that we'll learn the trick of how much
Oh,
liquid
yeah.
and
I
how fast to
mean,
stir and
authentic. I mean, I learned to make macarons in Paris, and it's fun to be taught by somebody from the region who is an expert in that thing. And of course, paella. I mean, oh my God, it'll be delicious.
and with the wine pairing
Oh,
and just a general fun
that's
thing.
wonderful. So it sounds like there's a good mix of things to do, but there'll also be downtime in between and, time to rest and knit and just sort of absorb the Spanish scenery and culture.
Same with in Barcelona.
Yeah.
We go in on a Wednesday and have a tapas and wine reception at a yarn
Right.
shop. At the shop of the people who organize Barcelona Knits, in fact.
Yeah.
And then we have
Lovely.
that whole next day after we're welcomed and oriented as a quiet day where
Yeah.
people can see some of the sights. We're going to take a train out to Montserrat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it won't take all day to do that. It'd just be a fun
Yeah.
excursion for
Yeah.
people who don't just want to explore. That's a nice thing. Then our class with Carol, then 2 days at Barcelona Knits. And you know me, I'm going to be there every minute. But
Yeah.
there are people who, one day of Rhinebeck's enough for them, or one
Yeah.
morning of
Yeah.
Rhinebeck's enough. And that's fine. That you're
Yeah.
welcome. You don't have to just sit there. If you don't
Yeah.
like going to Barcelona Knits, go poke around Barcelona.
Yeah. There's plenty to see there.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
So then there's this trip halfway across to Zaragoza that I can't say, and the Tapestry Museum. Then the next day, they're going to take us to a monastery. I won't be staying long there. They would throw me out, but and
It's
then
still
we get lunch.
such a great thing to experience, though, being in a monastery in
And the
Spain.
views,
Oh,
apparently.
yeah, I'm sure.
They have been welcoming travelers on this historic route across southern Spain for a couple thousand years. The same
Yeah.
monastery with the same view, and travelers stopping in for comfort and to show them what
Yeah.
they bought in Barcelona.
Oh, fun. Sounds wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's a little on the low key side compared to what we're doing in
Yeah, we're going to
Scotland.
be busy, 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 but it's going to be fantastic.
Oh
I'm looking
yeah.
forward to it. So, how do people sign up or find out more?
Well, the best place to learn about all that we got going on is at
All right,
batandkilltextiletours.com.
we'll put that down there as well so people
Bat
can.
and Kill Textile Tours.
Right.
And then that will lead you to our registration website, and
Yeah.
it's automated. Wow. Every now and then technology really makes sense. If I'm going on 4 trips a year and it's
Mm.
on this premise of you're all my friend and you're all just tagging along with me, that's 120 friends.
That's just
who
lovely,
all
then.
owe a different amount of money at a different time. Because
Yeah.
early on, I got the idea of being that y'all are my friends, that you
Yeah.
shouldn't all have to pay the whole $4,000 or $5,000 the day you decide to come.
Right.
A little here and a little here and a little here. So
Yeah.
this platform we're using enables that to happen. You make your
Okay.
account, and whenever you want to put some money towards your trip, you just pay in.
Gotcha. That sounds great. So they go to your website and they can read the itinerary and see photos and hear all about it. And if they want to register, is registration open?
Yes, now open.
Okay.
In
All right.
fact, only it'll only be a couple of weeks after we're talking that'll be it.
Okay.
Because these rooms are so tight. I don't mean
Yeah.
the small rooms. I mean the number of rooms we can get our
Right.
hands on are is tricky because everyone wants to be at Barcelona Knits.
Yeah.
So great.
Fantastic. All right. It sounds wonderful. Thank you for coming on and telling us about it so that Thistlers, if they're interested in going, can maybe tag along with you. All they have to do is go to your website and read all about it, register if they're committing to going. And then they get to travel. Where else are you going this year other than Scotland, Mary Jean?
We're also going to Sweden and with a side trip to Helsinki.
In
Unfortunately,
Finland?
that one is sold out.
Okay.
With some Thistlers in the mix, people that came with us to Norway. We're
Yeah.
using the same travel company for the Sweden trip as
Right.
for Norway. And then we're also headed in May to Paris.
I wish I was going on that.
I know you said that, and there's plenty of room on that. We only have 15 people.
Okay,
on
and how big
trip.
a group do you take normally? Is it about 30 on every trip or?
We usually, this one, Paris only had room for 24.
Okay.
Because of group sizes we're having a day-long knitting class and shop visit to the shop where Franklin Habit works from. And we're also having private shopping with La Bien Ami.
Oh, fun.
In the mornings of her pop-up before they open to the public. We're
Nice.
going in.
Oh,
Yeah,
great.
a
Great.
couple of really good opportunities for our travel.
When is that trip? You said it's May?
Yeah, it's coming right up. It's I don't have the exact dates, but let's say it's about 2 weeks before our trip to Scotland. I won't be home long before I go back
again.
over to go to Scotland. It's going to be a beautiful time of year, mainly in the 60s. No rain, and there's a lot of regular sightseeing on this one. The Louvre and Notre Dame, which is
new. Yeah.
And Monet's garden, the train out to that day. We're staying in a great hotel in the Saint-Germain. I don't have much of that accent, but in the Saint-Germain region, which is close to everything. It's a beautiful 4-star hotel and deluxe rooms. So if you wanted to just lay in bed in Paris, we found you the place.
You could do that. Eating croissants, perhaps even. Yeah.
Oh, there's a bakery and a spa right aside the hotel. Everything you need.
You do such a good job organizing these. That's wonderful. Sounds lovely.
We still have, thank you. We still have a little room in Paris.
Okay.
But I don't want anybody to be disappointed if they don't get into Paris.
Right.
But, who knows? Just you should click on Paris if that's where you want to go.
Yeah.
Tell me and I'll see what I can work out. But we're focused on getting people to come with us to Barcelona Knits. And I want to make sure that people know so that I don't hear when I see them at Rhinebeck and they say, oh, you're going to Barcelona next month? Yes. And they're going to be, oh, I wished I could have gone. Well, no, you heard it here.
That's right. Thistlers will know. They will know and they're being put on notice that this is happening. And if they want to go, what they need to do.
Yes.
Simple.
Well, I hope we'll have your Rambler at our booth in Rhinebeck again. I
would love that.
Meeting the Thistle knitters, and they come and they visit. It's really been a treat to get to know folks from all over the country when they're there at Rhinebeck. And I just don't want them to see the piece of paper next to the Rambler that says Barcelona Knits next month and have them say, what?
Yeah.
Now you know.
We'll do our best. We'll do our best to shout about it from the rooftops so that anybody who wants to go can make it happen in plenty of time before Rhinebeck. So, Well, Mary Jean, thank you so much for coming on and telling us about this wonderful trip. It's definitely, I've always had itchy feet and it gives me lots of wanderlust to hear about it. And I think, I hope that you get some signups. I think that would be wonderful.
Well, I bet I will now that the Thistlers have been notified. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Take care. Bye. Bye. So go sign up if you're interested on going on that trip with Mary Jean and her merry band. And Maggie, I think we just have a winner to announce, the last winner for the episode.
So our second winner today.
And then we'll go to Kim, who will take us out with good breathing techniques for the end of the show.
Yeah, and then actually stay tuned after Kim. You'll see some of the FOs from our Colorwork KAL.
Yeah, great.
So
lovely.
Stay tuned for that.
All right.
Ready for the winner?
I am ready for the winner.
Okay. Our second winner today is at FranB5085, and Fran says, "You guys make me want to knit everything." I just started my vanilla sweater, and the course is excellent. Definitely need to make that love note next. Good timing.
Excellent.
So at Fran B, if you can email us at info@thewoollythistle, put prize winner in all caps, we will get you your $25 gift card.
Excellent. And if you want to be in the running for a gift card yourself, all you need to do is leave us a comment down below, give us a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel, and you will be in the running to be picked at random next time. I think all that's left to say, Maggie, is if you go out,
take your knitting.
Bye.
Hi Woolly Thistlers, it's Kim here. Welcome back to another installment of Yoga for Knitters. I'm so glad that you're here with me today. Last month we featured some work on our core, our abdominals, and we're going to build on that by applying that in our flow, breath, and balance class. So without further ado, let's get started. For this class you will need, you might want 2 blocks. I'm going to start by sitting on mine because we're beginning the class in Sukhasana, or easy pose. That's crisscross applesauce. So I like to lift my hips up whenever possible. That way the knees float down towards the floor, and as long as the knees are below the hips, we're good. So you might want to adjust the height of whatever it is you're sitting on so that you get that great alignment. Okay, so begin by closing your eyes. We're just going to do a little inventory. Check in with where your energy's at today. Do you feel a bit dull and lethargic? Like, oh, okay, I pressed play on this video, but I'm not sure I'm actually going to do the work. Or are you feeling a little scattered and hyped up, like, oh my gosh, stop talking already, I want to get moving? Or are you somewhere in the middle? Chances are our energies are not entirely balanced. So we're going to start the class today by balancing with a breathing technique called Nadi Shodhana, or alternate nostril breathing. So you can use the fancy Vishnu Mudra, which is where you bend the first 2 fingers down and you have the ring finger and the pinky finger sticking up and then your thumb, and you would close the nostril with one of those, or you can do it whatever way feels good. Sometimes this is not actually very comfortable, so you choose. I'm not going to use Vishnu Mudra. We're going to inhale for 4 counts through the left nostril. If your left nostril is completely blocked, just unblock your right one a little bit. It's okay if the air goes through the right nostril at the same time, if that's unavoidable, as long as your energy is focused on that left side, because we know that energy goes where your mind flows. Okay, so in through the left side, hold our breath for 4 counts, exhale through the right side, hold our breath for 4 counts. So it's a box breath. Left, right. Okay, then we're going to go in through the right, hold, out through the left, hold. Okay, left, hold, exhale, right, hold, right, hold, exhale, left, hold. Okay, that's probably overcomplicating it. Smokey's here to help, apparently. Ready? Starting with the left side, blocking the right nostril, and inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Block both and hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale right. 2, 3, 4. Block it, hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale right. 2, 3, 4. Block it, hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale left. 2, 3, 4. Block it, hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale left. 2, 3, 4, block it, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, right, 2, 3, 4, inhale, and hold, 2, 3, 4, inhale, right, 2, 3, 4, block it, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, left, 2, 3, 4, block it, hold, 2, 3, 4, inhale, left, 2, 3, 4, block it, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, right, 2, 3, 4, block it, hold, 2, 3, 4, inhale, right, 2, 3, 4, block it, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, left, 2, 3, 4, block it, hold. We'll do it one more time. Inhale, left, 2, 3, 4, block it, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, right, 2, 3, 4, block it, hold, 2, 3, 4, inhale, right, 2, 3, 4, block it, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, left, 2, 3, 4, block it, hold, and release. Keep your eyes closed and just breathe naturally. And check in again with where your energy's at. Thing is, if we're full of action, we want to get going, we've got lots going on, our brain's really busy, that means we've got a lot of solar energy going on. That's all on the right side of the body. If we're feeling kind of lethargic and tired and not motivated, that's lunar energy, and that is on the left side of the body. And when those two energies are in balance, then we are in balance. We can tackle anything, and we know when to rest when we should. But because we live in this modern world where there's a lot of pressure, you can either feel amped up, stressed out, or burnt out. So this breathing practice really helps to balance the left and the right, the sun and the moon energies. Good. So from here, we're going to stay sitting in easy pose. Bring your hands behind your head, interlace the fingers, and then apply a slight upward pressure to the bottom of your skull. So we're tractioning the neck ever so slightly. Okay, we're going to hold on to that as we inhale, lift the chest, lift the head, and come into an upper back bend. Then exhale, continue to traction through the neck, squeeze in the abdominals as we round forward. Good. Inhale, traction up to the sky. Exhale, traction down to the earth. Use your breath to begin each movement. Breathing in and out through the nose. Really get into your body and feel what's going on. Does your neck feel tight? How about your upper back? I bet you folding forward feels pretty natural, but what about bending backwards? Is it completely foreign? And last time, exhale forward. And release. In a neutral spine, we're going to come off of that block. Okay. This next one's wonderful for knitting. Bring the soles of your feet together in bound angle, or cobbler's pose, depending on who you talk to. And then take the hands behind you, and we're going to start by turning the palms, the fingers backwards. And see if you can get your arms straight. Your spine may not be totally straight. You might be leaning back a little bit. That's okay. So we are not only letting go in the inner thighs, but we're stretching through the forearms, which tend to be very tight. So this is our inhale. We're going to add a small upward bend, back bend. And then exhale, come forward and reach the hands. So it's just an undulation between those two positions. Inhale, straighten the back first, placing the palms on the floor, and then continue to move into that back bend. And exhale, reach forward, sliding the fingers on the floor. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, slide forward. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, slide forward. Okay, use your hands on the outside of your thighs to bring the knees together. And then we're going to use our abdominals to slide the feet away from us. Nice wide stance. You may need to pull the flesh of your backside backwards a little bit so that the sit bones really connect with the mat. Hands behind the head. Good. So here we are. Just notice how much activity there needs to be in the core to keep you sitting here. The quads are engaged, the hip flexors are engaged, and the whole core set is engaged to keep you sitting nice and tall here. So inhale here, and then exhale, we're going to drop that elbow toward the knee. Use your core, use your abs, and squeeze back up. Inhale. Exhale to the other side. Squeeze back up. Good. We want to keep both sits bones on the floor. So if you're tilting to the side and your butt comes up, don't tilt quite so far. Everybody's level of flexibility is different. And different is wonderful. Really engage the core, both down and up. Notice how you need to press the leg into the floor to lift up. Root down to rise up. Okay, we've got one more on the left side. Good, now engage the core. We're going to bring the feet together, but lift them up. And there. So just use a little bit more core to get there. Perfect. So from here, we're going to inhale the arms up and reach back a little bit. I will turn so you can see a bit more of the angle. So arms are up, reach back a little bit. This is our inhalation, so we're not bending backwards, we're tilting from the hips. And then exhale forward. Inhale up, tilt back. And exhale forward. If you shake a little bit when you're tilting back, totally normal. I'm shaking. It's just not a position we often put our abdominals in. So go with it. And know that every time you do this, you get a little stronger. You may find you're able to tilt back a little further. Last one. And we'll hold in our forward fold. Beautiful. Good. So from here, you can start your day, or if you have a little extra time, take it down into Shavasana and notice which parts of your body feel like they did some work. The upper thighs, the inner hips, the core, the forearms, and take stock of your energy level right now. You may be relaxing and resting, but you may also feel like in 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whenever I decide that my Shavasana is over, I'm ready to face my day. I'm balanced, I'm strong, I'm engaged. Thank you for practicing with me today, and I'll see you next month. Namaste.